Welcome everybody. This is Mitch from the Mitch692 channel. More people than ever are watching anime, so whether you've been watching for years or you've just been starting out in this show, we're going to be introducing people to some of my personal favorites that I've seen over the years. So, welcome to the Pro and Noob podcast.
Pro and New. I've been
Pro
waiting to
and Noob.
hear. I've been waiting to
Yeah,
hear the
yeah,
name of the
yeah.
show of yet another project I've said yes to as to what its name would be. So I
Yeah,
had no idea until this very moment what it was called. All I know is what we're watching.
I thought Armin might say something, so I was like, I'm going to keep this from him.
I
I
love
also
it.
want something a bit tongue in cheek. I'll show you the intro after we're done. Actually, with this, I spent like a week and a half on a really slightly over the top intro that nearly crashed my computer as a whole. So
It's
yeah.
okay. The 25 years of the Phantom Menace episode of Nerd Academy we just put out. Also, Jared Bachman subs from the Nerd Academy podcast.
I
Hello.
was gonna get to that. Yeah.
No, I started speaking and then stomped over your ability to introduce me because I do this as well. Not
Do you know
that
what? I
great.
actually wrote something out. You might have guessed because I spoke about it like 1,000 miles an hour. But
Well, then I will shut
I'm
up and
just
let
gonna
you do that
throw,
before I make a
gonna
joke about my computer.
throw that out. Throw that completely out.
No, now I need to hear the introduction. Now I have to hear it.
Right, fine. So first things first, today we're going to be showing just a sneak peek at Neon Genesis Evangelion and where we think this show's going to go. Naturally, I know where it's going to go. Jarod does not, because Jarod's already introduced himself. So I'm going to completely get rid of that from this. And then each week after this, we'll be going down episode by episode. So yeah.
I'm very excited. I have not seen this. I know very little. The only thing I could even tell you before watching the trailer is that I think mechs slash Gundams are involved. That is the only thing I can tell you is that I think that's a thing here.
I'm not going to fault you on that one, to be honest.
I could be
But
completely wrong. There might be nary a robot, but that's
okay.
what I think this is.
We'll get to that conversation when we get to it. So,
Okay.
first of all, we're going to run down your history, your experience
Yeah.
with anime, and if you've watched anything, though I kind of know you have. But...
A little bit. A little bit. I was it's weird. Because because a lot of like the anime that I would have watched as a kid was on Adult Swim and it had
Mhm.
that name baggage attached to it.
Yeah.
My parents were kind of under the assumption that anything on Adult Swim was going to be your like raunchy grown up cartoon fare and was like
Hmm.
inherently not for kids. That
Yeah.
like everything on Adult Swim was like, and I know none of these are like shows that were on or existed when I was a kid, but just because they're like the first like cartoons for adults to come to mind, that all of it was like a Rick and Morty type deal, or that it was
Mm.
like very raunchy humor, very graphic, whatever. That like that whole block of programming was something they were like, we don't know enough about this. We don't know people who know much about this to kind of weigh
Yeah.
in. So
There's
like
no benchmark for anything.
we're just gonna tentatively say no for now. And if you get to it, you get to it. I
Mm.
was like, okay, that's fair. Eventually, by contagion, my little
Fantastic way
brother
to describe it, because I think that's how it spread in the 90s.
eventually by contagion, my little brother gets into Dragon Ball,
Mm. Mm.
which then turned into him playing a lot of Dragon Ball games, which eventually turned into us playing Dragon Ball games together. And by this point, I'm like 14, 15.
Mm.
So like I've missed the like I'm a kid growing up with anime phase
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
And I'm like well into my teen years and I start playing the Dragon Ball video games around the same time that former Nerd Academy co-host and dear friend of mine Levi starts showing me Dragon Ball Abridged. So at the
All
same
right.
time I am getting primarily exposed to Dragon Ball through Abridged, I'm also playing through Ultimate Tenkaichi and the other one we had, which name escapes me. Um,
We had like the Budokai. There was like
it,
Raging Blast,
it
stuff
wasn't
like that.
Budokai. I can't remember the name of it to save my life. But again, like every Dragon Ball game, it is just a retelling of the main story.
Like most anime games, it's just a retelling of certain
Yeah.
parts or the whole thing.
So that was kind of like my introduction on two fronts was not watching it but playing it and then watching the parody.
Yeah,
Um Eventually Levi pitches me on My Hero Academia because he was very, his whole philosophy being like, you like superhero shit way too much to not like this show.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, there's no, like by the numbers, there's no way you dislike this. Which he was right about. So I got into that, fell in love with My Hero. I'm super behind on that, which is, because
Same,
because
same.
Levi is my anime plug, and because he and I kind of live like an hour away from each other now, and schedules are super chaotic. And I mentioned this to Mitch, like we would do anime nights, or we would just watch a season of television inside of a night and then discuss it for the rest of the week when we saw each other more frequently at the time. So got super into Dragon Ball. Um,
How far into Dragon Ball did you get? Was it Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? I know
Dragon Ball
in
Z.
Japan there's no like distinction between the
Z.
two of them.
Z
Z.
for us Z. Most of my like knowledge and framework and um passion is centered on Dragon Ball Z. But again, I don't claim to be like a deep lore kind of person, like I I
Lord
I
of Dragon
cannot
Ball?
I cannot talk about Dragon Ball Z in the way that I could talk about Star Wars or Marvel
Yeah,
or DC. I don't. If Dragon Ball Z has Glupshitos, I don't know about any of them.
I
To
guess
to put it that
launch.
way, which is a fun little crossover conversation there, as to
Uh,
what the trying to extrapolate other fandoms vernaculars onto other shows and franchises. But
yeah.
yeah, Levi tried really hard to get me into One Piece. It didn't take. I
Oh,
want to try again. I really want to try again because I
well,
liked what we were seeing, but it was like I think because I know how much there is, I think part of it like psychologically scared me away.
that is the biggest hurdle. When I was thinking about doing this show, part of me said we are not going to do One Piece because with the episodes it has now, it would take us like 2.5 years.
I'm willing. I'm willing to do anything.
Really?
I'm willing to try it. I'm absolutely willing to try it. There's One Piece Roosevelt's coming out at the end of the month, so give me a reason to spend more money on Roosevelt.
I mean, there's
Um,
the One Piece coming out, which is kind of like what Neon Genesis done with the rebuild movies, the last four of them, where it's just retelling and condensing. But
None of what you said to me was in English or Galactic Basic. I did not understand a single
that's
word of
fair.
what you
Yeah,
just said, but I'm
good,
I'm going to. But
good.
yeah, Eddie, all of that to say, I've seen a good bit of Code Geass. I've watched a good bit of My Hero. I have a very untraditional exposure to Dragon Ball Z that has basically exclusively been video games. It's video games and parodies. Like again, Tenkaichi
Yeah.
played the hell out of that, played the hell out of Kakarot, but like I don't
Why
think
is
I've watched a whole lot of Dragon Ball Z. I'm trying to think about any others I might be missing. I watched a good bit of Full Alchemist Brotherhood and liked that, but I didn't finish the first season just again because of time
What's a
constraints.
good bit? Do you remember? Because you're about to break my heart if you say a lot of it.
I know I got a couple episodes past the dog thing.
Okay, so you got a fair chunk.
I got
Got
a
a fair
fair
chunk.
chunk, and I
Fair enough.
liked it a lot. It was just
Yeah.
again like time
Just timing
constraints, and
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and again like I like a lot of the sensibilities of anime as an art form. I remember when I was like a younger teen before like Levi really started exposing me and kind of broadening my horizons. As somebody who went to their local Comic Con a lot, like and again, I say this as a Star Wars fan, so like who am I to talk shit about fandoms? I am the bottom
Mhm.
feeder of fandom culture. Most things wrong with fandom culture started with my people.
You're also a
Um,
Star Wars YouTuber, nice.
I run a podcast network that has a Star Wars show. There are some great Star Wars YouTubers. I do not count myself in those ranks,
Oh, I
but
don't know. I
on a
don't know.
formatting level alone, on a formatting
Mm,
level alone.
mm.
And again, there are people who do a phenomenal job. Like the Star Wars fandom would be a much less great place in the places that it is great if it weren't for Alex and Molly Damon. Like they are
Yeah.
Star Wars YouTubers and they are the best of us. We could all aspire to be more like them. But um and I remember as a youth I was a little like put off, there was just a lot going on that I couldn't fully understand.
Yeah.
It was like really aggressively sexed up and like,
Oh, that's
you
everything.
know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's and like it was like super sexed up, but in like a weird way I couldn't wrap my brain around. And like I also knew that just the dialogue was something I couldn't fully
Yeah, yeah.
make square
Anime
in my
speaks a
mind.
thing, especially that 90s series. Anime speak is a thing.
Yeah, and again, I say that as somebody who loves when dialogue and anything goes through like a borderline Shakespearean place. So like so again, like it's I think it's just different tastes and like getting
Mm.
it's acquired tastes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
yeah.
things that I am excited to broaden my horizons on. Um but yeah, I think my earliest again, depends on how you define anime, exposures was probably like my my dipping my toe in kinda like a diet anime was probably the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, um, back
Mm,
in the day. Just in
mm.
terms of, like, the art style and, again, like,
Yeah.
it is in the lineage of. I'm not calling it an anime, but that it is in kind of like
I'm
a.
surprised you didn't go with Avatar, 'cause I assume you've watched,
I
like,
have,
Aang and
I
Korra,
didn't get
yeah.
around to watching all of Avatar until 2020. Um
Really?
I
Well,
I listen, man, my TV habits were not on a set schedule when I was a kid. Okay. I was not
that's
here
fine,
for
yeah, no,
episodic
yeah.
television. But yeah, so that's kind of like my
What about
roundabout how I
Pokemon?
got here. I did. I There was a year and a half where I was super into Pokemon.
Mm.
But that
So
was
I was
about
surprised you'd never actually mentioned it the entire time. I know people tend to not think of it as one, but, like, it's fundamentally people's first, especially of a certain age, like, people
no,
my
for
lot.
sure. And it's not to poo-poo like the super accessible
No, 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 no.
anime because yeah, stuff like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like those
Mm.
card game shows, like they are the most accessible,
Yeah, yeah.
just pound for pound. For me, it's the way I'm defining that is like making the conscious effort and knowing that I am consuming an a form of animation art that is under the subheading of anime. Like as a
Yeah,
kid, I
yeah.
was just like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure this is from Japan, and I like the cards, and I'm just waiting for
Mm.
Lucario to show up." Um, like that was me.
Yeah.
But it
Basic,
was not
ba
until I was
basic,
a little bit
basic
older
thing.
that I was like, "Anime is this thing. This is me experiencing it." If that
Yeah.
makes sense. If that
Yeah, no, yeah,
distinction
it
makes
makes sense.
sense.
I think a lot of people, like, especially the 90s kids who had, like, Toonami and Adult Swim growing up, like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Never known if Beyblade is actually one. I'm gonna assume Beyblade's one.
Bakugan.
Bakugan, yeah, like, all those, I don't think people really knew what they were. Like, because I don't think kids pay attention to the art style and how it's different, how sensibilities are different and all that. It's just people just saw fun cartoon, bright colors, and it's like, I like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
of course, you had like the trying to think of the big like Toonami lineups, like Dragon Ball Z. You had like Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah,
Gundam Wing.
I've also seen a few episodes of Cowboy Bebop, loved it, and then again forgot to get back to it. But
Y-
I've also
It's
accepted the
like you
fact that
know the list I had in my mind for this.
it's well, that's the thing.
You're just
These are all shows.
systematically checking up. It's like I've seen bits of this, I've seen a lot of that, I've seen bits of this. It's like okay, okay.
So I've because I've also made peace with the fact that I know that if I fully let myself get into Cowboy Bebop, that it is going to become a problem. That I know that for me, I'm going to get way
Mm.
too into another space bounty hunter.
At least it's only like 26 episodes. It's not long.
Oh no, Mitch, why'd you tell me that? Well, I can't watch it now because
No, you can't. You have to wait. You
I'm
have
committed
to
to
wait.
being the co-host of a watch along talk back show.
Uh, it's okay. My plan might be salvaged. Have you watched
Oh, don't say
Any
that guy's
Studio
name.
the Ghibli movies?
No, I've not
You
gotten
haven't
around
watched
to
any
them.
of them.
I've not gotten around to them. Again, it's like one of those like, I gotta get to this one of these days. I unfortunately end up that in a place where
So you haven't watched
this
Boy and the Heron?
nope, I wanted to and never got a chance to. Schedules just didn't allow me to. I am able to make time for like ultimately able to make time for the things that I'm like, if I don't catch this, I will die.
Yeah, yeah,
That just so happens to be the stuff I cover on my podcast, but I cover that stuff because it's the stuff I love the most.
yeah, yeah. That's
So it's kind of that like snake eating its own tail. And even then there's stuff I fall off of. Like I let Gen V get away from me. I let Invincible get away from me.
I was
I
gonna
had
say I watched an episode of your cast where it was I'm gonna message Mitch in the next couple of days and hopefully do this week. That was
about a
a
month ago.
month and a half ago.
Give or take. And
Mm.
that was the thing is I also had a moment I'm like, man, I got to make sure I actually have time to watch Invincible because I want to because I love it.
Poor show. It's so good. It's so good.
It's okay. You're gonna be doing a stint on TNAP to talk about the boys because all of my people are behind.
Am I caught up on the boys?
You better get caught up. Because at this point, we are the other ones. Hey, watch all of this thing right now so you can talk about it with me because I need somebody.
Well, I did that for X-Men. And,
You did. You did.
I have some words about that show.
Oh, are we going to end up disagreeing tomorrow night?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
going to be funny because
You've
people
been
are going to
saying
probably
some
see
buck
that before
wild shit.
this.
Here's a little sizzle for the Nerd Academy podcast. You've been saying some buck wild shit about Magneto that I am excited to see if you're trolling or not. You've been saying some insane shit about Magneto.
It's not insane in the slightest.
You are okay. We
Uh,
need to stay on topic for your show. We need to stay on topic for your show
it's
because I
fine.
will
It's a
start
preview.
cussing you
It
out.
gets people to go like, "What's they talking about?" And then they'll go to your channel. It's totally fine. That's how it works. You feed each other.
Sensational. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm
Oh,
at. I
you
haven't
had a
seen any
chance to play
Ghibli.
that then, and you didn't play it.
I did, but I was busy screwing the bottle back onto my Mountain Dew. So I
I'll
was
say
like,
the one time I would have let you get away with it. No, a good use. Google, do not start talking to me. Thank you.
but yeah.
But yeah. So that's a brief history of Jared's anime exposure to the virus, as you so eloquently put it. Which is probably the right way to say it, actually. Though.
I
Especially with
didn't
how
call it a
Pokemon took
virus.
over in
I
Dragon
just
Ball.
said that I got it by contagion. Not that it is a contagion, but just that's how it
Mm.
spread.
I mean, I think stuff like Dragon Ball, One Piece, I think it's safe to say.
That's fair.
I love One Piece and Dragon
But are
Ball.
you ready to show me this trailer?
Yes, yes, yes. Whose show is it? Is it mine or yours?
All right. So, and then I can't remember. Do you want me to share the screen? Because
No,
I think
don't share the
discussing over
screen.
okay, I was say I think discussing over the trailer would be safe, but it's your call.
I if it wasn't Netflix, because I just don't trust Netflix. Past experiences, I don't have any faith in that company at all. They're like Warner Brothers, right? So,
Very
yeah,
weird
if
that
you
they
want to
just
go
bought
ahead
out.
watch the trailer, you have a minute 9.
Okay, here we go. I'm pressing play. All right, here we go. Okay, so I was right on robots. Oh, that was a whole ass building. Okay. I I can tell you this. That looked really cool.
Good start. Good start.
I have no idea what in the actual fuck I just looked at.
That might carry on throughout the show. Fair
So,
warning.
okay, so I was right about robots. I was right about
Yeah,
robots.
yeah.
I watched a building get completely fucking glassed. That was cool. I saw a robot with a sword. That was
You did, yeah,
sick.
yeah.
That was sick. The animation looks breathtaking. Just from what I'm
Mm,
seeing so
mm,
far, it looks really,
mm.
really beautiful. Um, so like I'm getting a speculative sci-fi. I'm getting
Hmm.
some type of like cyber military outfit. I can't tell if homeboy with the shiny glasses is friend or foe.
Mm.
So that's kind of trying to figure that bit out. What else? What else am I getting from the trailer? Let me just kind of skim through it as I speak again here.
Would you like let me see if I can find
It's very,
another
very Zero
trailer.
Suit Samus with the pilot uniforms. It looks like a mechanic who's not supposed to be a pilot becomes a pilot. Love a story like that. It's giving Bodhi Rook. It's giving Paige T or Rose Tico. Um, this looks cool as hell. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch this one quickly to see. Actually, no, let's just have skim through it.
I can't tell. Does Glasses Guy have superpowers?
Well,
Don't
you'll
answer
find
a
that out,
single
wouldn't you?
question. Yeah, don't answer a single question. Because okay, no,
I will say,
no.
I will say,
Okay,
there is
something gets
no.
thrown at him, and the glass, and whatever hits him breaks across the glass he's looking through. Okay,
What does that say?
okay, yeah. I don't think I trust Glasses Guy. Penguin's cute. Penguin's cute. I love the penguin. I want to be his friend. Was that a monster? Was that a monster like fucking up one of these?
Right, I'm not
Max.
showing you that trailer because that trailer has spoilers for something else. And
Okay, so it looks like robots are fighting monsters.
mm-hmm.
It looks like robots are fighting monsters. There's young ladies. They're jamming out on some headphones. I don't trust Glasses Guy. Why is that a crucifixion?
Maybe.
Because what I'm seeing is a being on a cross with a spear through their chest.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
what I'm thinking, I have it paused right here. I'm trying to take all this in because already right now, like not only not like this goes beyond like a being with their arms out and the Christ imagery that is evoked through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like they're actively nailed to a cross with a spear. Like we've gone
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
point where like a spear of destiny is involved,
Mm.
like lancing a Christ figure while they're on the cross. So like that alone, I'm having like, whoa, okay. So like the aliens might be Jesus in some way. It's like
Mm.
I'm trying to figure out if
So I'm just sitting there watching you process it, to be honest.
I'm trying to
Because
understand
I purposely went for a trailer that's not giving a
that's
lot
that
away.
that feels like you're tripping balls.
No, because there are worse trailers for that. But I thought it was a simple trailer for what this is.
Yeah, it's a nice
Uh,
little taste.
mm.
I'm trying to figure out do I'm assuming they're plucky teens. They seem like plucky teens. Um
It's the typical the protagonists are teens, yeah.
okay, so I'm what I'm gathering is plucky teen child soldiers might find out that monsters slash aliens are victims when they were portrayed as monsters to them, like they were an antagonizing force. They are being transgressed against, and Glasses Guy is like some type of conniving villain pointing them in that direction. um and these kids will have to like use the weapons of the oppressor to like save the alien Christ figure is kind of how I'm feeling. It's kind of like it's like this is me like trying to like infer just based on visual language. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Glasses guy is framed in a very sinister way,
Yep, yep.
and one of these beings is on a cross. Like well, I'm watching one of them be literally crucified,
Mhm.
while the other while Glasses guy seems very sinister. And I see one of these mechs fighting a monster alien dude. So I am inferring that we will learn more about these extraterrestrial or non-human beings, and that it will reframe this conflict for us, the viewer, and view them in a more sympathetic light.
That's a fascinating direction for this show. Fascinating direction.
How wrong am I? Don't actually answer that question.
I'm not gonna answer
'Cause
any of it.
I'm sure anybody who's seen this show is either cackling,
I was
anyone
gonna
who's
say, I
watching this who has seen Evangelion is either laughing their ass off at me or their jaw is in their lap that I no scope this whole shit.
yeah, yeah, if people know, don't say any spoilers in the comments for any of this. Just keep it to where we're at the time.
I won't look at anything. I'm not even gonna look at these episodes once they're out.
Good, good.
Because even if somebody's like, "Oh, doo can't wait for da 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 da," like very very well meaningly,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to
They're
impede
the
on that.
worst spoilers I find. Oh, I can't wait for you to see this, XYZ part. Like, shut up. They're the worst ones going. Like, why? Because then you're
But
sitting there waiting for something to happen.
yeah, yeah.
As
The only
well
thing
mannered as they might be, it's
I've gotten better at that. I know sometimes
mm.
my girlfriend, who I'm actively showing the Clone Wars to, we just started season 5, and she has. I'm hoping she's not
So you're
listening to
finally
me.
at the good bit then.
It's all there is so much good throughout it. We're also watching a greatest hits
I mean,
list
from
that
three
is
on
compiled.
season 3 onwards, yeah,
There's
there's
some
some
great shit in season 1 and 2.
mm,
Malevolence, all the Cad Bane stuff.
I might have fallen asleep at that point.
You mean the third episode?
No, I mean the third season.
Anyway,
Season 1 and 2 are a very drowsy blur for me with Clone Wars.
I respectfully
I
disagree.
love the rest of it. I
Lair of
love the
Grievous
rest of
is
it.
an all-timer. Lair of
I
Grievous is an
might have been asleep.
all-timer.
I can't promise anything.
Okay, well, maybe we do this show in the other way and it becomes a Clone Wars rewatch as well.
But I've already I mean rewind. But there's so many Clone Wars episodes.
But we'll do it chronologically. That's more fun, actually.
Oh
This is the first
no.
time I've watched it chronologically, and it is a blast that way.
Mm,
Um,
sounds
but
awful.
but no, so like she's taken a real liking to Barra Sophie.
Oh,
And she doesn't know.
no.
And when the trailer for Tales of the Empire dropped, I sent her an all caps text message: "New Star Wars trailer show. Do not fucking watch it." Because I was like, I don't want you to know a damn thing about Barris. So I understand. I understand, and I've been very because I didn't even tell her that it was about Barris. I just told her there's a spoiler for the Clone Wars that this will ruin for you. That I want to watch her have her heart broken. I thought you were sitting there pensively, and it turned out you had just frozen.
My computer's been wanting me to update, and I've been going
Ah,
wait an hour, and it didn't give me that option. It just decided to be like, "Hey, we're shutting down." It's like, no, you're not. Cancel that.
cancel culture is out of control.
It really is. It really is. So I missed like 30 seconds of that.
It's just me ranting about not
Yeah.
wanting my girlfriend to get spoiled for the Clone Wars. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to get into Evangelion.
Oh, we
This
said it
is
right, everybody, or at least how I've always said it.
okay. I mentioned that I was doing this show, and my
How did you
girlfriend had
to say
asked
it to
me.
Armin?
Well, Armin and I texted about it.
You had a voice message about it. I saw that.
Oh, I did send a voice message. Well, I know I've
Mm.
only ever said Evangelion because that's how
Ah,
I've
that's
heard
good.
other people say it. I've heard
Yeah.
other people say it that way. And when I was talking to my girlfriend today, she was like, "What are you doing with Mitch again?" And I was like, "Well, we're doing this show. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a showing me the thing for the first time talk back type thing about Evangelion." And then she questioned my pronunciation, and I was like, "I have always heard Evangelion." And
Yeah.
she said, "I have always heard Evangelion." So I was like, "I think it's
Interesting.
a soft G, but that has just been
Because to me,
my
the soft
exposure."
G's the Jellion, the hard G's the Gellion.
Either way, I've always said Gellion.
Same, same.
So yeah,
But yeah,
I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
good, good. Because I'm excited for this.
Robots and
It's
swords.
oh, how confident are you in everything? I assume zero, but how confident?
Oh, and anything I've said about like prediction
Yeah,
wise,
yeah,
I feel if I had to start putting money on stuff, Glasses Guy cannot be trusted.
mm,
Glasses Guy cannot be trusted, and maybe the creatures are not meant to be sympathetic, but there will be some type of divine allegory. I don't think you put somebody on an actual crucifix with a spear sticking out of their belly and
yeah.
don't actually go some direction with that iconography. Like if I am wrong that there is zero Christ allegory, like I will shave my beard on I will live shave my beard on the Nerd Academy podcast YouTube channel.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like
No,
on God right now, if there is zero, and if there is not a direct one, if I cannot feasibly argue one
yeah,
that
yeah.
exists in the text, I will do it. But like I feel like there has to be some type of Christ allegory. It would be bizarre if there isn't.
Mm, mm. I was looking for the trailer link for some reason. I was wondering why it's gone. I was like, oh yeah, my computer restarted.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you
Mm.
come into the StreamYard after something's sent, it doesn't show up.
Yeah, yeah. Today I learned. Today I learned. Oh no, you have, I think, a more fascinating take on where it could possibly go than other people I've got into it before.
What is the takeaway other people have had
Not a
from that
lot,
trailer?
not a lot, but nothing like that. I think people just see the giant robot and go like, "Oh, giant robot, cool." That's where we're headed. Yeah.
So giant robot, cool.
Hmm. Which,
I
in fairness,
listen.
I think might be an intention, but we'll
I
find out.
spend too much of my life making fun of people who refuse to get into deeper meaning for my brain to stop at giant robot cool. Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, the giant robot cool part of my brain is very active.
that neuron is being scratched. Yeah,
That neuron is being scratched just as active as that is like analysis, give me the goods, give me a metaphor,
yeah, yeah.
that's where I have a lot of fun is getting into that stuff. It's like that meme has been the meme that in my opinion ruined Star Wars discourse forever. Um is the one where people are talking about the symbolic meaning of Luke's outfit in Return of the Jedi, where it's like the all black jumpsuit that
Oh, well, it's all dark. It's dark side, and a little bit of light comes through.
and then
That
the
one.
flap comes open after he
Yeah,
rejects the Emperor,
yeah.
and how that's meant to represent that yes, Luke is like on the path towards the dark side, but in his
Mm.
rejection, this is the light being reborn. And the amount of people whose ability to like deeply understand Star Wars begins and ends there, and every time, and the new version of that meme I'm seeing is that whole description of Luke's outfit and da 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 da, and somebody leaving a comment of that was a total English teacher move by George Lucas. And it infuriates me. And it's like, no, that's not being an English teacher. That is
Um,
called metaphor. And it's not, your English teachers did not imagine deeper meaning in fiction. It's meant to be there. It's interpretive, yes.
I don't know.
But
When they're
yeah.
talking about curtains and being red, then I have to question. how much is imagined at that point.
The curtains are blue, and it means something. It all means something. And even if it doesn't
But
mean
they're
anything from the
red.
authorial intent, you can still extrapolate things.
I mean, sure, which is
Visual language.
yeah.
I am a strong proponent of I am 50-50 death of the author and 50-50 like the
Mm,
author matters, you know?
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, I'm gonna say, because we're coming to the end of this, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with this show.
listen, man, my favorite things are
A
equal
lot of fun.
parts edgelord bullshit and like sincere reflection.
Yeah.
The
Though there
things I
is,
love the most are those two things.
do I say what I was gonna say actually? Actually, no, I'm gonna. There is one specific bit. It's not in the main series itself. It's in like the first movie that
Okay,
might
first movie.
might jet, which I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say there. But this one specific bit might be one of the worst things you'll ever see.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Like generally, it's like a make or break point for people. You'll get that far, and it's like, you know what? No.
Well, I am looking forward to it. I'm
Did you
looking
go
forward to
for
all of
Cookie
it.
Cup then?
No, no. The Ben Kenobi pop looked like it was turned around on my camera, and I was making sure he
Ah,
was facing forward
ah. Why is it moving?
because I tapped the shelf by accident, and then it
Oh,
unmounted.
depth perception on the camera. I didn't see you tapping the shelf.
You
I
know, I
just saw the
pointed at
point
it.
and then it
Yeah.
started doing this. I'm like, that is
I'm
either a
using
very wobbly wall or
I'm I'm using the force.
there's some haunted stuff in that place.
No, it's in that guy. It's all concentrated there. It's not going anywhere.
Continuity.
Continuity.
So yeah. So yeah. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. And I'm glad you said yes to it, to be honest.
I'm glad I said yes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, because everything you just said then, I was like, he's gonna. There's a lot to chew on. There's an awful lot to chew on with this show.
I'm ready to like have a I'm ready to be taken to class. My whole thing is the Nerd Academy, and I'm ready to take a class myself now.
Good, good. So yeah, I think with that we're gonna bring this first episode to a close. The 0 episode, or to reference a meme, what is this Neon Genesis? That little butterfly just like.
Oh, is that where that meme's from?
No, that's not from this. No, I was just
Oh.
referencing the meme because it goes with the episode title, right? Is this Neon Genesis? If you see the guy in the thumbnail, you know I changed the thumbnail at the last minute to put him in there. So yeah, we will be back hopefully next week. Schedules aligning.
Yep.
If not, we'll be back at some point, definitely. And this should probably last about 6 months, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just to save on time, who knows? We might end up doing episodes in batches. That might.
I was already planning for a very specific reason that you will find out when you get to it. The last 2 episodes of the season, we're going to talk about as one.
You said the
So
last 3 of the season.
the last 2.
Last 2. And how many seasons are there?
There's one season. There's 26 episodes.
Okay.
So 26, yeah, 26 episodes, 5 movies. Technically, 6 one's a recap. You haven't got to worry about that one. That one's all over
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but all of this story is bundled into one season and 5 movies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's
And
all.
they
It's a complete
and in
story.
terms of continuity, they line up like that.
Yes. Yes.
That it's show, movie, 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 movie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm
if
ready.
anyone wants to do this along with us, the series and the first movie are on Netflix, and then you have to jump over to Prime for the last 4 movies because Netflix refused to spend more money,
That's
or
so
Prime jumped
funny
on them.
because October and November, my girlfriend and I finally got into Saw, and that is exactly the
Oh,
issue we ran into.
Oh, is it the same with Saw?
It is almost the exact same with Saw, that it was like we got through the main movies, and then, like, the most recent 3 or 4 were all on Prime. Oh, we haven't seen 10.
Wow.
We haven't seen Saw 10/Saw X or whatever the
Wow.
fuck it's called.
I assume it's 10 because I'm pretty certain there's 10 of them.
No, it is 10, but it
Mhm.
is using the Roman numeral, so I can't tell if they're
Uh,
doing a Mortal Kombat X because it's cool and edgy, or if they're actually just calling it
I
10
don't
and they're
think
using
Saw's
Roman.
ever used numbers.
It does. Saw,
Does it?
Saw 2, Saw 3. Some of
Yeah,
them
but
have
1, 2, and
subtitles.
3 are numerals, aren't they?
Oh, you mean like using Roman numerals in the title?
Yeah. Obviously,
Oh, oh,
they're
oh.
numbered, but I don't think they've ever actually used the actual
I don't.
numerical, like,
I
4.
think they just. I mean, at least in the key art that's on. I'm sorry, I lied. It's Hulu, not Netflix. The bunch of them are on Hulu, and then we had to jump over to Prime. But at least in the key art they have on Hulu, like there's something in the key art to denote the number.
Okay, yeah. Say, I haven't seen Saw since I think it might be 5 or 6. It's been a long time.
I think the five's like the final chapter, lol, right?
Yeah, that's whatever the one that ended originally was the one that
Let me tell
I
you,
stopped at.
Saw sidebar real quick.
Shoot, go,
I
go,
I
go.
came off of watching that last, in air quotes, movie,
Yeah.
and immediately was like, I'm gonna write a whole video essay with my pitch for a new Saw timeline. Because I was like, why is there not a whole movie about Carrie Elways leading the cult? Oh my god. Like I was fully Saw pilled
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I'm not able to write this. I can't do
Welcome
this.
to everyone in like the mid 2000s.
I was like, I need to write my Kenobi season 2 and Rey Skywalker movie pitches before I touch Saw.
You do, yeah, yeah. I might catch up on Saw.
I had a good time.
I mean, they're fun. I
They're
didn't hate
fun.
any of what I saw.
They're fun.
I know they go
I
off the
had
rails a little bit, but I enjoyed the hell out of them.
they go off the rails. I spent a lot of those later movies having philosophical arguments with the TV. Like, I
Of
and again,
course you do. Yeah.
that's probably a good warning for everybody that I get really up in arms about people's, like, philosophical consistency, especially, like, not from, like, a writing, like, "Oh, you wrote this character poorly,"
Yeah.
like, good villains should have an incoherent ideology. Not necessarily incoherent, but inconsistent, 'cause
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
notes that, like, your heart is not in the right place. Like, it's like Killmonger, where like you are right for 98% of this, and the part where you want to start a race war is where you go off the fucking rails.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, or like Count Dooku, where it's like you were so close to being so based, and then you became a fascist. But yeah, I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah. You I don't know which direction you're gonna fall in to whether you like this, end up liking this or not, but I think you're gonna have fun with it.
If I
I
have fun with something,
really
that means I end up liking it, and if something emotionally frustrates me, that's a good sign with me.
oh, I think you might get frustrated at one point.
But yeah,
Definitely at one point, yeah. So yeah, that's gonna bring this to an end. I think I already said that once before, but what can you do, right?
it's okay. I don't shut the
Natural
fuck up.
conversation goes off. So yeah, next time. Bye bye.
Later.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, listening, however you do it. Make sure to come back for the next episode where we'll be starting the series properly. I just wanted to see how Jarod was going into this whole idea beforehand, right? And if you guys want to play along and join Jarod on this journey that I'm taking him on, it's, as I say, it's all on Netflix and Prime. So yeah, I think this can be really fun if we can get it all done properly in a timely manner. So yeah, if you'd like to support the channel and help our little channel grow, hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the little bell for notifications. Make sure to leave a comment. Let us know if you've seen it, what you think of the show beforehand. If you haven't, whatever, just as if you fancy leaving a comment, right? Just please, as I say in the video, no spoilers. I want to keep Jarod as pure as I can for this one, right? So yeah, your support is greatly appreciated, and we'll be back next time. So take care.